So as I said, this is game number 3 of a best of 3. I'm Madals, this is Go for SC2 Monday. Spawning up in the top left hand position. He won game number 1, lost game number 2. Is he going to be able to make it through to the semi-finals? He plays for Team Acer. None other than Nerchio. And his opponent down to the bottom right. The purple Terran lost game number 1 in a bit of a macro fight. Won game number 2 with a proxy 11-11. What's he going to do this game? It's Optimus. King Sejong Station, of course, is a map that can be very good for proxy Raxes. Is Nerchio going to be extra careful? Other things that can be very nice on this map are actually a proxy 8 Rax. Of course, we're not going to be seeing that because it's not 8 supply anymore, but proxy Reapers is exceptionally good because there's lots of nice little places you can hide the barracks, specifically around this sort of vicinity, and then use this little ledge to bounce on up into your opponent's base. But alas, we're getting a bit more of a standard game, at least initially. Rax into gas now, coming out from Optimus. The barracks was before the refinery, so we're not going to be seeing, most likely, any super early kind of additional, or super early factory. He may skip the Reaper, but I suspect he will go for it. King Sejong Station is an amazing map for Reapers anyway. Probably one of the best ones in this season of ladder maps. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if that did come on down. Otherwise, still just keeping a look on Nerchio. He has gone for the hatch first, following this up with a spawning ball. Note his Overlord's taking a bit of a different pattern to normal, just making sure that they could spot out anything sneaky that was coming on down, and you can't blame him. Not after that last game. Otherwise, Optimus, he's got his Reaper on the way, so isn't going to be going absolutely crazy. Instead, playing this in a very standard format, I think, would be the best thing to say. You don't often see much else crazy going on off the back of a Reaper. Most likely just a command center, which Optimus is about to start up as he hits those 400 minerals required to make it. He should then go into a factory in order to get some Hellions down, and then he'll have a bit of a party with the Hellions. Potentially he'd look to go into Banshee, although that is far less common than it was quite a while ago. Anyway, he'll move up now from this Reaper. Where's he gonna go? Gonna go the long way round, just come into the natural base, then standard way. Nerchio is just chilling here at the moment. Couple of Lings out on the field, going up to those 6 again. This should be enough to thwart the advantage, or the advance of this Reaper. Good amount of damage being done though. It gets the first blood of the match. Always nice. 2 kills there for the Reaper. Backing on out. Using the combat drugs to heal its way through. 2 more queens. Queens. Wait. Queens 1 and 2 are now done. 3 and 4 are on their way. Behind this, Optimus, he's also got his factory coming on down. His natural base nearly finished up. So for the moment, this is still very standard times, very standard things. Nothing too crazy. The Reaper, seen coming around the back. That's good Overlord placement from Nerchio, making sure that he can see this. Although, unfortunately for him, he doesn't really seem to have anything other than the Queen to fend it off. A Queen is enough, though, to fend off just one Reaper. Gets a good amount of damage down. So predominantly, this Reaper is just providing scouting information, as opposed to any definite damage and such. Still, though, not too much else to talk about on Optimus' side. He's just pumping out a couple of Hellions. Got his tech lab now down onto the barracks, adding in the second gas. When to see where the stim gets started up, it is going to get started up, so not going to go for any funky timings or things like that. Otherwise, Nerchio, yeah, he's just chilling here at the moment. He's got his 2 gases, got his 2 bases. Interestingly, no third yet, although I don't think we'll be seeing that super urgently out of him. We may see it in the next sort of minute or so, unless, of course, he's planning to go for anything really aggressive. But no, drone coming on down, gonna be making that 3rd hatchery once he hits the 300 minerals. And Nerchio is now in the standardist of standardized play. Optimus, on the other hand, isn't. He's got a Marauder out, and he's getting a second one. Add in this starport, add in the Hellions, and this could be a very funky build. Most interestingly will be whether we get more Marauders after this second one. And we are. So this is a decent commitment to Marauders now out of Optimus. Add in these Hellions, and you've got a very frustrating build to try and deal with, especially if we see an armory thrown down soon. And there we go, right on cue. So this is really annoying because basically a medevac's going to come out of here. That'll boost the Marauders over to get them with this army ASAP. You've already got the armory there, so the Hellions can transform into Hellbats. And suddenly you've got this diabolical army that's ridiculously good against both Zerglings and Roaches and even Queens and Spines. It's just a nightmare to try and deal with it. You need a lot of Queens, which luckily Nerchio does have, but he needs to minimize the damage that he's taking from these Hellions early on. Otherwise, he will have a bit of a bad time. Nice refined build here by Optimus, just as the medevac pops, the 4th Marauder pops. Stim, also nearly finished up. It's got 20 seconds left on it. The armory now finished too, so we can see the transformation come down. Hellbats are ready, boosting up the health. Doing a bit of a arc damage instead of a straight line damage splash. Queens now taking quite a bit of damage. The Marauders getting dropped down. One up on the high ground. Trying to stay at safety behind these Hellbats. Nerchio taking quite a large amount of damage actually. Pulling on back. He's got a lot more Zerglings coming on through. He wasn't expecting the Marauders. And that's what's causing him the majority of the problems. The Hellbats have been taken down. Drones are trying to get pulled to deal with this. But that means loss is pretty much guaranteed at this stage. Morlings trying to come on in. Ultimately, 10 workers have so far been killed. The Marauders, majority of them still alive. That medevac healing them up nicely. The Lings trying to achieve anything they possibly can. But the Marauders, all 4 still up. A couple of Hellbats coming on through. 21 workers have so far died. Now the Marauders finally starting to get picked off. One dies, the rest able to be saved. Nerchio taking a significant chunk of damage, but it is not without an investment from Optimus's side. He's really limited his marine production. He would be very exposed to Mutalisks, but that's not something that Nerchio can currently do. The biggest problem for Nerchio is his drone count. It is very low. Very, very low. It's like 31. That's way, way low. He's not going to be able to do much damage counterattacking either, unless he got some Banelings, and that's just because there's a decent number of Marines here. They should be able to stop most things. In come the Lings. Widowmine doesn't get a good hit off, actually. That's really advantageous for Nerchio. He will be able to clean up all of those Marines, trying to take down a couple more. And still some Zerglings survive. This should get a bit of counter damage done, but simultaneously, we've got Marauders being dropped in the main base. Beautiful pickup and drop micro coming down here from Optimus. Keeps all the Marauders up, which is just beautifully done. Nerchio has killed 5 workers in terms of retaliation, but 5 compared to 25 doesn't really cut it. Nerchio is back up to 42 workers. He's popped out a couple more Speedlings. Going to continue on with this pressure. The concern though is there's a decent number of Widow Mines in position for Optimus, and they should be doing a perfectly fine job of fending off at least a couple of Speedlings. Lair coming on through now. Again, we've got this medevac trying to land on down. Third base is going to be its target. Drone's still there. These Widow Mines did detonate, so having to back on out. Down come the Marauders, though. Going to be trying to pick up a couple of these drones. The Stim not able to be used. There's not enough health there. One Marauder gets taken out. That was actually really nice. The rest still racking up so many kills, though. 31 worker kills. Is this medevac finally going to die? It does. Nerchio can now sigh a relief, because he no longer has to deal with that hideously horrible, awful pressure coming through any longer. At least for the moment. More medevacs coming on out though. A lot more production coming on through. Optimus is really not focused much on his production, or not focused much on his income. Only just floating down that third base now. Nerchio though, his drone counts still are hurting. He does have a slight upgrade lead for the moment. And he's also getting down the spire. But all in all, he's been heavily delayed just by the amount of damage that came on through. A couple of Lings going to be attempting to get some damage. They should focus those mules if they wanted to go for anything. But instead, they just look to be backing away. Trying to buy themselves some time and some safety. All while Optimus is busy defending. He's not attacking. And that's really what Nerchio is hoping for. Remember, this is game number 3 of 3. So whoever loses this will end up out of the competition. It's that simple. Lings now, leaping and bounding on back. Still got a couple more Marines moving their way through. This is quite a frustrating push, but Nerchio going to be counter-attacking. Going to be looking to get some good damage down. Has he got enough to hold, though? That's the question. Decent number of Marines are there. Upgraded level at the moment, the Marines. Not faring too well without medevac support. The Lings, though, also not doing the greatest. They're all going to get pretty much cleaned up. The push coming through now from Optimus is dealing out a lot of damage. A lot of Banelings are trying to come on through for Nerchio. He's pretty much surrendered that third, heading down towards the fourth with a lot of drones. Queen vaporized. There's also this huge spread of Widow Mines. The Banelings not going to be having too much fun with those. Luckily, only 2 going down. Could have been worse. Banelings now coming into the flank. Get a couple of nice detonations off on some of the Marines, but the third hatch has been killed. Banelings touch against some of these medevacs. The fourth base, of course, could be a target. There's not that much in the way of units here, but it should be enough to deal with it. Overseer is coming on forward, making sure that any of those Widow Mines can be picked up. That fourth base just surviving. Just skin of its teeth. Optimus still down at 47 workers. Nerchio up at 63, but his fourth base is very limited in what it's going to be able to do. A couple of Marines getting taken on down. More Banelings morphing on through as these reinforcements come. The Lings from behind are going to be quite helpful here. Good detonations. That picks up a lot of the Marines, but unfortunately nothing to do with these medevacs, so they can just keep getting picked up. Got to give a huge amount of credit to Optimus as well. His pick up and drop micro has just been on the money. Banelings now still rolling forward, still trying to connect. A lot of these Marines are finally getting taken on out. Third base getting remade by Nerchio as well after losing it to this push. He's got to be careful. Optimus has got a decent foothold here. He's able to buy himself a lot of time. His upgrades are down now. That's something that's going to be helpful for Nerchio. Unfortunately, Nerchio loses that fourth. He's only got 6 Mutalisks out, but that means that he can start looking to deal with these medevacs if they do pick up everything and try and fly away. Third, not quite remade for Nerchio yet. He's certainly hurting. His opponent is also up on 3 bases, remember. The reinforcements are getting picked off, but a quick little turn is going to try and catch these Marines. We don't mind burrowing up. The Banelings still being very, very careful. Nerchio down by around 20 supply. Not too much else really going on around the map. All of these players' attention prioritized in trying to deal with this. Unfortunately for Nerchio, upgrades for Optimus assigned to level out. He's got the 2-1. But Banelings coming on through. The Mutalisks trying to engage up against the medevacs, but the Marines making short work of them. A bit of a painful engagement there for the Zerg player. He wasn't able to pick off those medevacs. Optimus doing a great job of spreading those Marines. And this is all off the back of the damage Optimus did early game, remember. He killed 30-odd workers with that Hellbat Marauder timing. It was incredibly deadly. And Nerchio has been fighting an uphill battle from that point. Supply blocked after losing that Overlord is an incredibly frustrating place to be in, although 8 more soon to be popping on out. The army supplies really tell the tale here. Nerchio trying to get some more connections. He's going to have to pick off a couple of these Marines, but still, 72 army supply to 32 in favor of Optimus. That is a massive supply lead. Is this counterattack down towards the third going to be able to do enough to start leveling this out? Well, a heck of a lot of SCVs need to be killed off. The reinforcements need to be completely stopped. A few Widow Mines are in a nice position. Good pickup. Drop micro. Optimus ignoring his main army, just trying to deal with this counterattack for the time being. Another mine. Could have got picked off there, but it's not going to be. Optimus now pushing forward. Does Nerchio have enough to hold this? He's got 7 Banelings. They're rolling down the ramp. He's got, unfortunately, no more morphing in. Going to be coming from all angles. A couple of Speedlings are there. There's no Widow Mines here, but the Banelings unable to get those connections. The Lings just spread very nicely. Unfortunately, the Zergling numbers are incredibly limited, so the Speedlings should be able to pick this off. But it's the medevac fleet that's just unstoppable. The reinforcements are coming across as well. Nerchio down now by just under 40 supply. This is a very, very dangerous spot for him. Nerchio doing an amazing job of staying in this game. Many lesser players would have already tapped out. Nerchio, again, trying to find an opportunity to engage. He's going for a lot of Mutalisks. but I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do that. There's too many Marines. The Marines are going to have 3-3 shortly. A few Banelings attempting to connect, trying to find their damage output. More Marines, more Widow Mines coming across the map. Optimus is in this deadly, never-ending siege position that you see so often Terrans find themselves. A few more Marines trying to get picked up. Widow Mine hits going. And Optimus is going to be victorious. Takes this series 2-1 up against Nerchio. And that means that he will advance into the semi-finals.